I kind of think there's a 50% chance Sam Altman wrote that memo so people would not know their actual strategy.
It's like, surprise, it's all agents in commerce. We tricked you. Code Red is actually only about commerce.
Why, hello, friends. Welcome to More or Less.
Jess, you look bundled up. Are we saving money on heat?
We're saving money on heat. I actually will put my hat on, guys.
The prices, Bitcoin is down.
Price of Bitcoin has fallen. We can't afford.
Bitcoin price is down, and the Lessin family has changed our home heating.
But subs are up. Subs are up. So we have a code red on subs. So
oh god, no more code reds this week, please. I'm done.
Yeah, but it's a very. I'm just in the holiday spirit, and I found this nice red hat and scarf. It's holiday party season.
But before we get into that, can I start with an ode to Daniel Lurie?
Oh gosh,
you may.
That's a left turn. Sure.
I just was on Instagram. I think Daniel Lurie has like the best.
Oh, his social game is so good.
It's so good. It's so good. I don't think anyone will ever beat Jesse Tisch's speech about rats in New York, which was one of my favorite social media speeches.
New York Police Commissioner.
I don't know what this is.
The rats don't run New York, we do, is really one of the great lines of social media politics.
Wait, this was before she was police commissioner, right?
No, she was sanitation commissioner, crushing the rats. And like, you know, I rode freshman crew. She was like a coxswain sometimes for us on the second lightweight boat of freshman crew, and when we need it. So she's great. But like, that was amazing. But Daniel Lurie's social media, I mean, I just popped open Instagram to a video of him.
Mayor of San Francisco, if any of you don't know.
Thank you. I was like, tell the people who don't live here who he is.
I wish I could have voted for him. We don't live in the city anymore, but he's live from the new drone command center, showing the drones and being like, you will not get away with crimes in San Francisco. And it's like, he's so sincere and he's in a suit, you know, it's like, and he's doing the thing. And I'm just like, I just think honestly, there's a lot of experiments right now in like post-Trumpian political social media. And I just want to plus one. First, Daniel's doing a good job, and I love the drone center. But two, like the deadpan, we're solving no more crime. And here's the drone center, just fabulous.
Okay, while we're going through our favorite Daniel Lurie social media posts, our friend Monica Masseri turned me onto his social media like while he was running for mayor, because he's just so good. Okay, he's played tennis with Roger Federer on his social media. He's talked about Labubu's and the opening of Pop Mart. Wait, what's it called?
Pop Mart. Yeah, we went there this weekend.
And then he also, my old BART stop of like 16th and Mission, he did this great video where he's like, it's 3 p.m. on a Friday. No drugs.
That's amazing.
It was so funny. And he's like, we're going to come back on Saturday. Better still not be any drugs. But what's so great about it is also he's just being earnest. Like, this is his personality.
Guys, we've deployed 150 drones per month for like the last year.
That's like almost Ukraine levels, and they're not even being shot down.
They're mostly being deployed for car break-ins.
800 drones have caught 800 criminals, according to Daniel. I mean, this is great.
I love it.
Wow.
Politics.
Most San Francisco mayor thing to say ever.
I know. He's just so leaning in.
I wouldn't say we are close friends. We've known Daniel Lurie a long time. And when he was running for mayor, I will admit that I was skeptical he would win. And I was skeptical how he would do as mayor. I'm so wrong. He's crushing it. And he's not just crushing the social media. I wasn't anti. I was excited for him. I just wasn't sure. And like, my goodness, I can't think of a better.
And look, he's made some mistakes and he's owned them. He's appointed some people who weren't great and he owned it and he fixed it and he came in and he appointed new people. And it's just lovely.
And like, he just, I love that he just like wears a suit. He just wears a suit, and he is sincere and he posts things on Instagram. Like, if you commit a crime in SF, you will be caught.
I love it.
I just you have to go back and find the no drugs.
That's so
no
good.
drugs.
No drugs.
Guys.
Okay.
Remember what we need to remind our listeners about today.
We're supposed to remind them at the end of the pod, our producers, like
No, they said it at the beginning. No, they specifically asked us to do it at the beginning.
I'm sorry, I don't read instructions. Dear listeners, we would be so grateful if you would follow and like this episode.
And subscribe. Subscribe was the number one ask, Jess.
Subscribe.
Smash the subscribe button.
A lot of people listen that aren't subscribed is what we found in the data. So if you are listening and not subscribed, you might as well just subscribe.
I just love, everyone's like and subscribe. The dumbest shit, but now we'll do it. You should like and subscribe.
You should like and subscribe.
And we got some pod feedback this week from a random listener. We talk about AI too much.
That was great. So I went to this event I was invited to, and the headline was Vinod Khosla. Well, I actually really like Vinod. I think he says smart stuff.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod.
If Vinod is doing the keynote, and you know what I love about Vinod? Vinod is one of the most successful VCs. You know, he's been doing this for 40 years. He ends his speech, he literally gives everyone his email address on stage. He's like, if you want to email me, I respond to all the emails. And I'm like, wow, 40 years in. And then I looked it up. I was like, did you give them an alternate email or your actual email? And I looked up, I have the same email. So either he gave me his shit email or he's actually responding to all these people. And so I was invited as like the B act afterwards. And I sat down and this guy behind me, he's like, love the podcast. It's getting boring. And I was like, what do you mean it's getting boring? He's like, I listened to it. He's like, let me show you. And he pulls open Spotify and he's like, look, he goes back to old episodes. He's like, look, you guys used to talk about all this interesting shit.
No, he said our headlines are getting boring. Our headlines are getting
No,
boring.
I think he was just saying, he's like, you guys, now it's just Apple and AI and Google and AI. He's like, stop it. Stop with it. This is boring. So feedback take.
But what else is happening other than Apple and OpenAI and Google? I'm joking. There's a lot more happening, but we can take that feedback.
Guys, you got your first copies of Etiquette the book.
I think he's bored of etiquette by now too, Sam.
I don't know. We're number 22 on startup and finance bestseller list Amazon 2 days in, climbing the charts.
That's a Taylor Swift song.
I'm going to get you a plaque that says number 22.
That's amazing.
Guys, but there has been AI news. Are we not allowed to talk about it?
I know. Now I'm afraid to talk about AI, but it's like, it's code red right now. I feel like we need to.
Sam, since when do you listen to feedback? Like, I'm so confused. Like, this is hit you as a...
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah, don't go off brand.
I only listen to feedback when it's kind of like hiring McKinsey, where you hire McKinsey to tell you the things you already know, but someone else can say them for you, and so that you can implement. Like, I didn't do it, McKinsey did it. Maybe it's kind of one of those situations.
Yeah, like firing half your team. Well, okay, a couple of things to discuss. There has been more AI news, and we're also into, Gemini, and we had some skeptics on the pod last week. So a lot to happen there. But I also have to say, the major event in the Lesson household this week has been the arrival of the Garmin watch for our children. And I do actually feel like I need to talk about this a little bit because, first of all, Sam, would you like to describe how our children ended up with Garmin watches?
I'm very proud of our children. So our children ended up with Garmin watches because...
Like adult Garmin watches?
Yeah. The women's, they have the smallest face ones. They have adult full on.
All right.
I actually like their Garmin watches kind of more than mine. I had set a goal for our oldest because he likes goals. He's a very goal-oriented child, which is if he ran his age in miles, where running means no stopping and you can't go slower than a 10-minute mile at any point, if he ran 8 miles as an 8-year-old, he could have a Garmin watch. And so he's had this goal outstanding. He's almost 9. He isn't 9 yet, but he's been kind of eyeing the goal and like having good emotions about nervousness about hitting it and not. Our 6-year-old then, who mind you is awesome, but has never run more than 5 laps, so 1.25 miles continuously. He's finished a 5K, but with some walking in the middle. But he's 6. He's just never shown interest. He's like, runs a mile, stop. He's run 1.25 miles. I go in and I'm like, you're really ready to run 2. And he's like, I can do 2. So we get on the track. Going into the end of the 2 miles, he goes, Dad, I have a surprise for you. And I'm like, Maverick, what's the surprise? He crosses 2 miles and goes, Dad, we're running 6 miles. I want a Garmin watch. He'd never mentioned this once. And so then the kid who'd only run a mile and 0.25 just busted out 6 miles under 10, singing the whole way. We went through, a lot of, what's the Demon Hunter soundtrack? He's just singing the whole way, had pounded through, does it, which then obviously puts incredible stress on the 8-year-old who still hasn't finished 8 miles. So then he does it. And now my 2 sons, it was really, they talk about doom scrolling their watch.
They are doom scrolling their watches. Guys, okay. Sam got the preamble, which was a little long, but this is how we end up. So now a typical morning is I come downstairs. The boys are running laps. I say, boys, why are you running laps around the couch? Well, I got to get my steps in. Then they'll go, Mom, do you know what time it is in the Bahamas? I do. Then my 8-year-old leaves the kitchen to go sit in the living room. I said, where'd you go? He goes, I wanted to meditate to get more meditation points. And so I'm like, but he goes, but it didn't work. Very self-aware. So it's amazing because here we are, like, it's a connected device. Like we've given our 6 and 8-year-olds essentially a computer on their wrist, but all it can do is tell us the time in Karachi, which Lion put into his watch because they're reading a book about it, sunrise, sunset, meditation mode, but just seeing like the obsession. So I had to say, you have to eat breakfast and get dressed before you can run in the morning. And they can't bring them to school because they would just scroll all day. But it's wild, guys. And it's just the perfect example of like incentives and how kids are like so pliably obsessed.
Well, your kids versus our kids. Let's be honest. Like, I don't think our kids would ever run 6 or 8 miles. I don't care if we bought them a new house. Like, they would be like, no, I'm good.
No, but they would find the thing out of this watch that they love the most. So I need to learn to program. I'm going to vibe code a piano practicing app that gives you reinforcement when your butt has been on the bench for a certain number of minutes. Can I do that?
This is a great idea, and this is actually pretty easy. What you should make it is continuous keystrokes. So as long as you're hearing sound at some rate, if you practice for like 12 hours continuously, forget button C.
Oh, but you have to pause sometimes to study the music.
Yeah, you get like a 30-second timeout on it. You know what I mean? Like, but you're just like, I want to hear continue. If you need a pee, you better get it in one of the timeouts, you know?
Segue, but did you know Duolingo has a piano? I put it on my gift guide this year that I can send you guys.
It does.
Duolingo made a piano.
Really?
It's a great holiday gift. Yeah. Now they're teaching music and language, and they actually have physical products.
Does it have light up keys and you follow the keys? Yeah. I actually bought an earlier version of this.
Yeah, it wasn't Duolingo though, I don't think.
I don't think they're the same. I think that, Sam, you're talking about the Rolly or whatever it was called.
Anyway, I almost got it for my kids, but I think it's interesting to see them expanding. But we can get into more tech news.
Presumably people don't want to talk about our kids all day long. So Brit, tell me more about this gift guide because, you know, I got to say I felt a little competitive because the information has a gift guide. And I was like, what is this tech gift guide? And then I'm like, oh, it's just Brit.
I'm not competing with you and every literal media publication and influencer that's put out a gift guide this year. Well, I'm just doing more social of my own. And a lot of people have asked me for what I'm buying people for holidays this year. And I tend to be like trying to find the new, hottest, coolest tech gadget thing that's not dumb for my kids as well as for friends. And so I compiled like 10 of them that are on my Instagram. Are they on there now?
Yeah, they are. I saw them today.
Yeah, I just posted them. Yeah. And yeah, there's everything from the Duolingo piano to like the robot that I think is one of the best AI robots for kids because there's a lot of them now. By the way, AI pets and robotics is like a whole thing. There's an vacuum cleaner. I think that one was on your gift guide too, Jess. The Matic.
Oh, I love that. Could it be some sort of like you get a score for cleaning? Like I want a cleaning, so like continuous vacuuming for 12 hours. You get a star.
Yes, and mopping. It does. No, the robot does it. It can mop and
Are you talking about the Matic?
Yeah, the Matic.
Yeah, the Matic's so cool.
Yeah, and it recharges itself. You don't have to do anything. And that one's really cool. Anyway, so there's a lot of these up on Instagram.com/Brit.
Well, so this is actually a non-AI topic that I wanted to bring up because on this pod, perhaps we're all creators, perhaps we're all influencers, but I'd say Sam and Brit are really leaning into it in this moment, right?
I had a tweet. I made money on tweets this week.
So I've noticed two things. I've noticed Sam turning on Twitter monetization for his content. And I've noticed some very fun, very peppy, very well-branded Brit social videos. So you two discuss, what are your ambitions as in your next step in the creator economy?
Oh, I'll discuss. Well, I think that in venture capital, there's just so much going on and everyone's flooded with everything. The best way to draw the founders in and the ideas in that you care about is to tell people what you care about. And our pod is one way of doing that. But on the broader interwebs, I think it's important to share the things that I care about and that I think are cool. And hopefully people know someone that might be starting something in that category or otherwise like want to connect with me on that. So that's my motivation, just to tell people what I'm into.
I love it. And Brit, like, give us some, like, is it working? Like, what early days? Like, how's it working for you?
To be a brand these days, and now I'm going to go like real macro.
Yeah.
First of all, I called this 15 years ago, like creators are brands. Obviously, Slow believes this too.
Well, you sound like me too. I called this years ago.
But I called this Brit & Co. and I put my name in the brand.
Lick that cookie.
People are brands. And to get the share of any voice and to be top of mind for anyone, you have to make content and have media on the web. And so you have to then decide what you care about and what type of people you want to draw towards you. And that's how it's working. So yeah, I've gotten a lot of people like sending me more deals, people DMing me, sort of pressure testing my thesis on different topics, but there's more to come. So stay tuned. I'm going to be lighting up my LinkedIn and other channels soon. And you know what else is weird? I also am lighting up TikTok, and TikTok's a whole different planet I've discovered. You know, you've got to be like very basic there, not as deep. So I got to go like up a level in terms of what's happening in tech.
I've loved the screenshot essay a long time. I've done a lot of deals off screenshot essays because you put out your thesis into the universe. And then if you make it a punchy headline so people get mad, but then say something reasonable in the screenshot that most people don't read, it gets packaged and sent all over the place. And then smarter people will give you better ideas and send you companies. So I've done like probably like a dozen investments where like I put out something nuts, or maybe I don't think it's nuts, but some people do. And then get better stuff. That everything from Area 2 Farms, which we seeded, was from a screenshot essay. I just did this deal where you guys remember my petty lawsuit thesis, right? Where like, so I was like, someone needs to start petty lawsuit bot. Some guy started it. And so I funded petty lawsuit. And so like, there's also, for me, it's very professional that way. Now I will say what's changed for me is I do quite enjoy Twitter, the outrage game TM. It's like pretty fun. And so for me, I've been doing like the Twitter for deal sourcing and to find your tribe and to intentionally reject the other tribe so that you don't have to listen to them because it's noise for a long time. And I think that's been actually candidly how I source because I'm lazy for like years. But now I'm like into the Twitter, the outrage game where I'm getting pretty good at posting things which are like, I'm pretty sure can go hyper viral. So I'll give you an example. Like last week, I posted this thing about how like you can't compound your way to wealth anymore. It was wild. It was like 4 million views. I'm looking at like 20,000 likes. And like the reason that works is because some people really like it and agree with it. And then a lot of people don't. And you need them to argue with each other. Right. So it's kind of like and that is a fun game. That's why I turned on monetization because I'm like, wait a minute. I can get it paid for this too. And like as a creator, I feel like I should get paid.
So what trickle of income has come in? Give us the monetization report.
You're going to pay for that heat in your house, Sam.
Well, exactly. We got to turn the heat back on. Bitcoin's down. I noticed that I had thousands of dollars of unclaimed subscription rewards that I need to like collect. But now I'm not sure. I don't know how much I'm going to get paid on my client. I have a lot of validated followers and I think I might get, literally hundreds of dollars when I get my first payout because I finally turned it on. Although I still can't figure out how to connect a bank account, so I don't actually know how to collect the money. I keep getting it. My bank accounts keep saying I can't.
This is my problem. I have sweet venture capital returns stuck in Angel List.
So I actually think I have stuck in Angel List is Outline Ventures distribution. I can't get out. Did you guys used Angel List?
You mean offline ventures or outline ventures?
I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Yes.
Yeah, we've had some distributions. We have another one coming for you.
I can't get them. Can you send me a check?
You're paying your investors money? That's amazing. Well done,
We are paying
guys.
our investors money. When we first started offline, we did it through a rolling fund while the pandemic was kicking off because that was like a weird time. And turns out now all those investments, a lot of them are selling.
And it's a rolling fund, so I get some money.
You get money, but you need to go log in and get it.
The VCs will love this. I can't get it because I can't log in. Our VCs will love it. I was with Kevin Colleran yesterday.
You just push the forgot password button, Sam.
No, I can get in. I can't get the money. I don't know what's going on.
You have to prove that you're like a legit entity. Like I had to assert all these things that I thought were true, but
I don't know. You guys will love this.
The dreaded assertion.
So I don't like being in the office with people, as you might have noticed. But I do get a reminder every once in a day that you are missing something for not being in the office, because we had Kevin Colleran, who's my business partner, Dave's former business partner, over yesterday. Kevin's great at a lot of things, great at raising money, great at a lot of things. He's got great one-liners, and because I'm not in person with him, I don't get them. And so we had a situation which you'll appreciate, Dave.
No one-liners over Zoom?
They don't have the same punch. He had this incredible one-liner where we got this notice that we're unlocked on some stock that we can sell. And it's one of these things where like, we didn't even buy equity in this company. We bought equity in something else that got rolled over 6 times and bought, and like whatever, it was some public. And we made, it turns out, like 3 times our investment, like 20 years later on this.
Just from holding. Holding and letting it roll over
This is a
6
Venmo.
times.
Yeah.
No, Venmo was better than that. But same, but like when Kevin goes, yep,
Turducken.
that's what they pay us for. Another investment returner.
That's so
The
good.
goal of venture capital is to have normally say it's a fund returner. It's like we had an investment returner.
So good.
Did you guys see our friend Adam Mosseri is ordering all Instagram employees back to office 5 days a week as of February?
Whatever I say now will appear in my next all hands, and so I will be quiet.
My reaction to that when I saw it was, 1, now I understand why he declined my invite to go heli skiing in the spring. And 2, the reason I wouldn't do that is because then I would have to do it. So like if I could order everyone else, but I don't, he's too much of a good leader to just make his people do it and then not do it himself.
It's true.
That's funny.
Good on you, Adam.
I mean, Adam, you're going to you got to put like a cold plunge in your office now. Like how, like you can't go, you go to the office 5 days a week. Oof.
Adam is on the road 4 days a week. So
Is anyone
I
else
think,
in Meta at the office 5 days a week? Or will Instagram be the only division?
I think they'll be the only division.
But Dave, they need it. That's like the economic engine. They need to pump more money.
Guys, did you see the other Meta news? Jess, did you see this about Alan Dye?
Yes. Brit, tell the people. Big news.
This is a big deal. Alan Dye, Apple's design lead, is leaving the company and joining Meta.
Interface design lead.
I was going to say, wait for Dave to correct him.
As chief design officer on December 31st. And he's going to report to Boz, who we know, the CTO of Meta.
I like how you thought that was the most interesting part of the answer.
Well, I like that all was in one headline. And I think that this is a big deal because as we've been talking about with AI and all the big tech companies, like there have been pros and cons about like what Apple's up to and like how their momentum is going. And this is just like a really interesting signal.
What signal do you believe that sends?
That Zuck paid a shitload, and like he's chief design officer. So that's everything, right? At Meta. Is that across all Meta products? I don't know Meta's org
He
chart.
might have to go into the office 5 days a week.
I know. What is he signing up for?
You think he's like, oh shit, forget it. 5 days a week, then forget it.
My understanding is that Alan was the lead on Liquid Glass and the big interface update that just happened, which is a lot related to AR interface. And so the reporting to Boz, I would bet, working on the Meta glasses, I think that's the strategic move here, that he's got real sort of chops. He also was the lead on Vision Pro and that whole Vision OS design project, if I remember correctly. And so it's kind of a big coup from that perspective, that whole design stream is going over to Meta.
Or it could just be that Liquid Glass is super fucking annoying and hard to implement, so they need to hire him to implement Liquid Glass.
Fair enough.
At Meta?
At Meta. Because they're going to be forced to, and they're just like, this is too hard. We need to get the guy who made it.
Get the guy who made it.
Couple interesting things. So Mark Garmin at Bloomberg had the scoop, and Tim actually had a statement on it, which I thought was highly unusual and is a sign of what a big loss it was for them.
Pretty high profile.
Yeah. No, I mean, no one's arguing it's not high profile, but Tim had a banal statement defending the bench of design talent they had at Apple, which is not as bad as Jensen saying their GPUs were better than Google's TPUs in a comms tweet from NVIDIA. But, could perhaps be considered in the same family. So I've been playing with a theory, guys, that I'm going to reveal as part of my predictions to our pro subscribers later this week, where
pay me, motherfucker.
I have
Wait,
decided
more or less pro or the information pro?
The information pro. Like when people meet with me, they seem to think I have a lot of opinions that are mildly useful to them.
We should start an OnlyFans together.
And they're surprised. Like I can be like, some things I have to hold back on, some things I don't. And I think there's 27 going and 29 pretty specific. Some are wild, some are calling out individual companies, people, whole thing. And I'm just going to let it flow for Information Pro subscribers. But
Jess, can I tell you one thing? There is a better business model to this, what you want to do, which is called running a hedge fund. I don't know if you considered it.
No.
If you want to get our heat turned back on in our house, maybe we could run a hedge fund instead of just giving it to the pro subscribers for too little money.
I was born with different DNA and in another life, man,
Maybe if we run out of all the money, we could start a hedge fund, if we really need the fuel.
I would trade. I will not trade against these, but I have a lot of conviction around these. There's a lot that's on the cutting room floor. You have to really pay for them.
Like you're supposed to say this is not financial advice. Not, I would definitely trade these.
I need a sneak peek.
So I will give more next week, but I feel very, very confident about important to protect my pro community, whom I love. But one theme, this isn't like a prediction, but this is one framework for my predictions. And you guys tell me what you think. I'm still workshopping it. So I think that like maybe the last 18 months, AI has kind of like lifted and all these tech companies in like this similar wave, similar hype, similar fortunes. It's like run up a lot of momentum, investor sentiment, blah, blah, blah. I think next year, the fortunes are going to start to diverge very dramatically. And that the sort of era of like the AI tailwind for big tech startups, I think we're still going to see huge winners. But I think just across the board, the fortunes are going to diverge very dramatically. And so that is one thing I think about when I think of Apple and Meta, not because I have high confidence which way either of them are going, but we've wanted to like, and the press has played a part in this, so have the companies, and sort of like showing all the areas and all the battles that are head to head to make them look like they're all on this even footing. And I think the results and the investments and the strategies will start to diverge a lot more. And that will leave some people, I think the tide will go out for some people and the tide will keep rising for others. So
what's your trade advice then? Is it like short QQQ, long your favorites? Like what's the play?
Well, I don't really want to tell people what to do, but if they read the information, they'll know.
Last pod, the chart that we showed of the OpenAI complex versus the Google complex is the most obvious one.
I think Meta's lack of an enterprise business is going to be much more of a liability for it going
interesting.
forward.
Really? Why? They just make all the money on ads.
No, but I think for its CapEx strategy, I think this is already happening. Investors are not
business,
giving
you mean they don't have a cloud business, or what type of business?
They don't sell stuff to businesses. They don't sell software. They don't sell compute. They don't sell chips. They don't sell anything.
Like Google Workspace, Dave.
No, I know, but there are several. There's like Amazon AWS, like is a big cloud business, as is Google Cloud, right? And so I'm just wondering which one, or you're just sort of saying
in all dimensions, right?
Any and all.
No, so I think that's one example.
I was going to say, in terms of interesting anecdotes of the day, I actually got really interesting inbound from Amazon Web Services this week, which is interesting because here's the thing. It's
their big Vegas conference reInvent, Sam.
No, here's the thing. I for hilarious reasons was on the original Amazon Web Services customer advisory board when I was like in my mid 20s and I was 26. I don't know how I ended up in this room. I was so outclassed. It was like me and like the CTO of like every major company, and I barely understood what they were talking.
Well, that was the Dropio days. That was so fun.
Yeah, I spent a lot, I guess, and I was a kid in startups. So it was really interesting. I got a cool jacket from the first time that was convened. But I haven't heard from Amazon as like a company reaching out from the VC startup ecosystem in a long time. And they're calling they're like, let's do business.
We have that. No, we have credits for them.
Of course, we got 6 funds. We want to do business. We want to tell us what you need. This is our initiatives. I was like, you guys want to get back in this cloud game, eh? That's not a bad thing. I was just surprised.
Back in this cloud game, they blew expectations on their last quarter. They're in the cloud game.
It's interesting anecdotes. Your point about the big clouds are being a little bit more like wanting to drum up some business than they have historically.
Well, what's happening at AWS, which is really important actually, is, the whole narrative has been they've been on their back foot in AI, which is not untrue.
Same Google narrative.
The big play was to invest in Anthropic, and then they have Bedrock platform for accessing many models. But like the OpenAIs and Googles and Microsofts of the world wanted you to think they were in the dark ages. Then last quarter, AWS like crushed it. And investors and reporters were like, So it turns out that this has been lifting all boats, right? Like that the demand for compute is also pulling people into the cloud. Like AI is also getting even more of the laggards who are still on-prem to the cloud, right? And AWS is also really good for AI workloads and all this stuff. And they revealed, I don't remember the details, but like huge infrastructure investments. This was the time then, like if you announced a big infrastructure investment, your stock went up because people saw that you wanted to be players and all that kind of stuff. So who knows what the future will bring? There's certainly challenges for AWS, but it's like, they're in the game. They never left the game. It's just Google Cloud is growing really fast too. But, they're multiples bigger. So it's, and now they'll have Sam's business.
Sure. I mean, I do business.
You should go to reInvent. I was talking to a lot of people who were at reInvent. Well, I mean, I have reporters there.
Is this the
Vegas,
Amazon thing?
Yeah, the AWS.
I thought it was
thing.
interesting. I noticed that they have these Nova AI models. I hadn't actually heard of what their models were called.
Gemini and Nova. We're going to use all of
I don't think people love Nova, but people like the new agent stuff. Although
I had never even heard of it until yesterday.
Do you guys know agents? It's not looking so good for the agents. Have you heard?
Really? What's happening with the agents?
Well, the agents are also getting paused by OpenAI for the next
Hollywood agents
year during this code red. No commerce coming soon. No agents coming soon. No ads coming soon.
Guys, I'm going to confess something and be very vulnerable on the pod. I kind of think there's a 50% chance Sam Altman wrote that memo so people would not know their actual strategy. I mean, the memo's authentic. Like, the memo's authentic.
Like, that's fake strategy?
It's like, surprise, it's all agents in commerce. We tricked you. Code red is actually only about commerce.
Maybe 49%. I mean, Steph Palazzolo and Aaron Wu, two fabulous information reporters, reported late one night that in response to growth in Gemini and trends at ChatGPT, Altman called it code red. To Brit's point, he said they were going to de-emphasize ads and agents and really work on the model and the product and all this stuff. And what was interesting about this too is you guys may remember a couple of weeks ago when a lot of the industry had their hands on Gemini and the reviews were very positive, but it wasn't out yet. Altman wrote another memo reported by the information that said, stay the course. It's going to be tough vibes, but heads down, stay the course, right? So you have this big reversal. So, okay, we've all written memos to our companies over the years, right? You're trying to signal something. You're trying to show you're not being complacent. Reporting shows that work on agents and ads continues, not surprisingly. But yet there is this big rallying cry around ChatGPT. And then I saw some great charts today. And Dave's always trying to keep me honest and ask for the chart. And then I give him the chart. And then he tells me why the chart is what the chart's missing.
Is it your chart that's missing?
No, I give him an FT chart. And he's like ripping into the FT chart. I'm like, I can't affect their X and Y axes.
We're investors. We critique charts and slides, Jess. That's what we do for a living.
All I said, Jess, is I want to see Instagram time spent on the same chart.
Yeah. But anyway, the flat light, like the time spent, and remember, ChatGPT thinks it's meta, so time spent matters. It's down, 7%, 6%? I don't know.
And what time period?
And what time period?
And like this is when the kids are writing their papers and it's still down.
But do you know why Google's time spent is up? Because it takes Google 2 to 3x as long.
It asks so many follow-up questions. Yes.
No, it takes 2 to 3x as long to get me an answer. And I'm sitting there waiting, whereas GPT is much more quick.
Is that actually true? 2 to 3x?
Yes.
It's totally
Guys,
true.
As of last week on the pod, I told everyone here that I was going to now make Gemini my main LLM. I exported all my ChatGPT memory and tried to upload it into Gemini. Turns out you can upload 10 files at once. And I have thousands of files in my GPT memory. And I was like, fuck this. And I just did it. I uploaded 30.
Did you
and
ask GPT to combine it into one file for you?
It wouldn't do it because it has all these images and all these
No,
things.
that's how you get around GDPR, download your data restrictions. Look, here's a few things.
Hold on. I'm not done yet. I just need to finish. So I start using Gemini exclusively and it's like giving me good answers, but it's taking so long. I don't have time to wait for this shit. And you know what else I like about GPT, especially on mobile, is the haptic feedback. Like the little, do you guys have it turned on where it makes a little vibration?
Well, that's not copyable.
Well, I'm just saying it's quick.
That's the differentiator, haptic feedback.
It's haptic. I feel like I'm talking to this thing in real time. And so now I'm back to GPT. So I've done the full boomerang.
A few thoughts. One, I do like your point that time spent has a lot to do with waiting for answers, but you also suggest the solution in 2026 to everyone's problems. Pre-rolls. You know, if you just like throw a pre-roll video ad while it's coming up with your answer, boom, there's the monetization.
But they're pausing ads, says Sam Altman.
You just jam those in there.
Guys, they're so not pausing ads.
But Brit, you're saying that it's Gemini that takes so long. So Gemini can put an ad in there.
Yeah, but that's why what'll end up happening is like when people need money, they'll just slow down the results for more pre-rolls, you know, and speed them up. Like that's because you got to, if you're going to be a good, especially public tech company, you need a dial to control how monetization that you can twist. That's how you always can make your quarter. Is you're like, well, we got to have something, just slow down the queries 2%. We'll make all the money back.
I bet it's a solid 8 to 10 seconds of thinking that Gemini does versus ChatGPT.
That is at least 3 Pornhub ads.
Oh my
you can
God.
stick right in there.
Guys, the TPUs are melting down. You can feel it. I can feel the TPU meltdown. Like Gemini is working so hard. And like Google, you have to spend more because I need it to go faster. So build some more data centers. You can afford it.
Can we talk more about this Code Red thing, like seriously? Here's the interesting experience, I'd say. Have you been part of, not Code Reds, but lockdowns or whatever, the same kind of concept? Few thoughts. One, what usually happens is the leader is like, we must put all the effort into this thing, shut everything else down. And then everyone's like, yeah, but we kind of still do that and still do this. So like, and then so you can have 5 engineers for it. And the leader's like, no, I need all the engineers. And like, okay, we'll find you 10 engineers, right? Like, and so like, there's this organizational, and this is a big problem with being big before you're big, right? Which is like, if you're small, you can pivot fully very quickly. Like a little sailing ship, you can pivot quickly. If you have a lot of people and a lot of projects, you lose your degrees of freedom to pivot very quickly, right? And so I do think there's probably this gridlock there. Now, if you told me that actually Sam Altman says go left, and he means it, and they don't go left, that's actually a huge organizational problem. And like, that's a very negative signal for OpenAI because you need that like ability to pivot. But I believe it 100%.
I think it's more what you said. Like everyone gets the memo and the other work is still continuing.
Well, and that's why the other reason to keep in mind is this is the big problem with having too many initiatives and product people and hiring fancy people. Because if you hire a bunch of fancy people, which OpenAI has done, fancy designers, fancy PMs, the whole kit and caboodle, the way you attract them is by being like, good news, there's infinite surface area and you can do health and you can do this and you can do that. They're not actually as fungible as you want them to be because they're like, they're there to have their mark on the world, not to just do the thing. And like that lack of flexibility and reprioritization versus having product generalists and engineering generalists who can do everything and you can just pivot them. It's really like, I think, a major liability. And when I look at what's happening at OpenAI, where they have a lot of very fancy people I like, but like the trade is, and you're going to get your fiefdom and you're going to get to do important work you want to do. You then can't declare code reds and have them actually be successful, right?
So do you think we should be expecting an exodus? And under what time horizon do you think this code red will actually take effect?
I don't think an exodus. I think the real, and I'm not going to say more than this for now, because I'm going to get in trouble. But OpenAI has always had an existential crisis over whether it is a research organization or a product organization. And you can be both. And these tech companies, we talked a lot about tech company culture. We talked about Apple versus Google. And this is the defining challenge, I think, around the defining challenge for them is raising money, but the defining challenge of like the identity of the culture of the company. And it kind of gets to the theme we've been talking about too, like how much is like the messianic model race, aka the research race, where you should be putting your effort versus just like scaling linearly great products that billions of people are going to use. And it has set itself up to have to do both. It has set the expectations that it is going to do both. And that is just a hard challenge that rears its head in all sorts of ways, like every single day. And so I think in some ways, the question of this code red, now both ChatGPT represents both. You need the models and you need the products, but like there are a lot of product people there that would say to really do that, it would fundamentally have to change the role that the research organization plays. And a lot of research people who say, if we want to win super intelligence, why do we have products? And I think that's really interesting.
Well, and it's interesting that the superintelligence narrative is what initially got them funding, and it was the narrative.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe it's why Altman does it, right? I believe in his heart of hearts, that's what he and Brockman and others, certainly Ilya, who's no longer there.
Here's the reality. If that is true, and I believe it easily could be that it's a messianic type thing for them, and like that's what they want to be spending time on. In general, it's extremely hard over the long run to be successful with things you don't care about, right? At every scale. I just think it's extremely hard to do.
Well, you can hire people who care about them. You can hire people. You can hire people.
I don't think you
who care
can.
about them.
I think in founder-led cultures or like top-down cultures need to move fast. The idea that you can be in a business that you don't fundamentally care about, I just don't think it works out. Like I think, and this is a mistake that I think founders make all the time, is they have a good business idea from business school, but they don't really care about it. And they can get the energy to do it for 2 years, but when push comes to shove, they really rather be doing some prime on it or some variant of it, and it always fails.
So Sam, in this case, you're saying that the research mission is the fun thing and the apps are not?
I'm saying if that's what Sam believes and the leadership actually in their heart of hearts thinks, they're not going to be a successful product company, right? Like long term.
Well, what if you think one is a means to the end, their end, right? What if you believe
almost all of these end up this way, right? Like early on at Apple, you always had to have the people working on the computers and the chips and the operating system, and then there had to be the applications team, right? And
fine, but
it's a yin and a yang.
Kind of, but I would argue
Same
Steve Jobs, the messianic leader of Apple, right? Clearly cared about selling a lot of Apple devices. Like, and he clearly had a set of values, which you talk about a lot, which is like what defined the company.
Yeah, I mean, he cared about the experience, right? So the experience is the products.
So that's what they got good at. And I'm saying you can't be good. If you're a leader and you're like, I really want to be working on the fun stuff, this thing, which is what I care about, the Messiah, AGI, but I have to wake up every day and spend fucking hours dealing with the ChatGPT pre-rolls to like pay the bills, you're going to hate that. And like ultimately you'll fail at it, right? And like that's just what I've seen in startups. There is always exceptions. There's always exceptions. But I think it's kind of one of those things where like, even take like one of the most boring companies in history, Salesforce, okay?
I didn't know where you're going to go with that, yeah.
Well, here, like incredibly boring company. You're like, how do you motivate people to work at Salesforce? Like, well, one, I think Benioff loves sales. Like, he loves
it's the
winning.
Ohana.
He's just a winning. So, like, he doesn't care what he's selling. He doesn't care about the product quality. He just wants to win.
Yep.
And then for everyone else who doesn't care enough about winning, you invent a foundation and like make the foundation really important in the narrative so that you feel good about charity, because you can't convince people that this matters, right? And so, like, I just think like the founder mentality and then how you tell the story and motivate, like it really is hard to break away from, which is why, again, like if you told me Sam Altman only cares about beating Mark Zuckerberg, I would give it a much higher probability of success than if he's like, I care about AGI, right? In his heart of hearts.
This is one to watch. I'll leave it at that. I think this is going to be a very big deal. Oh no, guys, we talked about AI.
No, we talked about product, team culture and incentives.
We'll headline this pod differently.
Team culture and incentives.
Yep.
This pod is not about AI.
Oh, that should be the headline.
I think it's just called incentive. Founder incentive.
Can we talk about crypto? Why did Brian Armstrong feel the need to say that Bitcoin was not going to zero recently? How bad is it out there, crypto people? Yeah.
He did? I didn't see that either.
Guys got to read. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like getting worse. It's like stabilized bad, right?
Stabilized number go down.
We're not dropping off the cliff still. We're just at the bottom of the cliff.
You guys, people have such short memory. Everyone's like, well, I've been through 3 cycles. I'm an old hat at this. And then like a little thing happens and people get stressed. My favorite non-statement statement today, though, was definitely from Aaron Levie, who I do truly appreciate as a human. And he's been like the most AI is changing everything, like so excited personality ever. And he posted this thing being like, AI, it's a quote, he's like, not going to take away jobs. And I'm like, well, what camp are you in here? Like, and his line, he says, I'm emphatically in the camp that AI doesn't take all the jobs. I'm like, that is the funniest non-statement I have ever heard. It's like, okay, you're emphatically in the camp that some jobs will exist.
That's amazing. What % of jobs exist?
Yeah, I asked him that. He said half.
My favorite AI meme was the one I sent to the group chat, which is this Waymo that decides to drive straight through a shootout or whatever. There's like a criminal on the ground and the Waymo just like has no contextual awareness at all and just like keeps on driving. And the criminal looks up and is like, what the hell?
That's so funny. And it had a passenger inside of it too. It had a passenger inside it. Guys, Waymo went on a press tour today, I think in response to this. And also Waymo, I think, killed another pet in San Francisco yesterday. They were on the Today Show this morning, opening the day with all of their
The
Waymo
question
press.
is, will AI take all of the pet jobs?
Oh, God. What?
How many robot pets will there be?
Oh,
Okay. Couple thoughts
it's gonna,
here.
like, actually, AI will end the grooming business because
exactly.
your pet won't need grooming.
Let's go short grooming.
Let's go back to Jess.
Okay. Waymo is in a press cycle because they released their safety report today, which was stunning in how much safer Waymos are. When compared, and I quote, to human drivers on the same roads, Waymo's self-driving cars were involved in 91% fewer serious injury or worse crashes and 80% fewer causing any injury. 96% lower rate of injury causing crashes at intersections. And this was also in an op-ed written by an emergency room doctor who talks about the nature of her.
For what it's
or
worth,
his
though, don't
job.
you guys sometimes look around at the humans that are allowed to drive cars, and you're just like, I'm shocked you're allowed to drive a car.
Yeah, especially the really
Well,
old
that's
people.
the
Fair
same
enough.
point.
And the really young people.
I think this is like less about Waymo and more about, it's just flooring to me that we allow some people to drive cars. Like, and I like it. I mean, God bless America and freedom, but you're like, I cannot believe that someone lets you operate a motor vehicle.
The New York Times had a good quote, which was that while many see this as a tech story, it's actually a public health breakthrough. Like the amount of like less hospital visits and deaths is going to be astounding.
But is that going to be good or bad for them? It's going to put more pressure on the medical system because people will live longer.
Well, that's already happening with AI.
Sam, we want to save lives. You have to align on that to make this work. But I'm excited for this phase in Waymo. 2 other fun Waymo factoids of the week. They're testing the minivans everywhere. So I've been seeing them out in the peninsula now. I don't know if you guys are seeing them. And then also, though, I did see one on a flatbed truck on the 101, which definitely, I'm going through my head what happened here. Aaron Levie, funny guy, said, well, they didn't say how they were going to do freeway driving, which I thought was very funny.
You guys love Aaron Levie so much.
Well, we're just in constant conversation with him.
You're in constant. His Twitter is just hilarious. I'm very pro Aaron.
We need to
Levie.
make him the fifth wheel on the pod. He should just jump in once a month.
He likes to be made
He
fun
loves
of,
to talk. He loves to talk even more than I do.
That's a lot.
No, that's not true.
Jess, one interesting factoid to add to your self-driving car world. This week, I was looking at, there's a new interface on the Tesla when you click on autopilot that tells you the percentage of time that the car has been self-driving. And I hadn't seen this before. And mine is somewhere in the range of 70%, which is like actually kind of mind-blowing to me.
Mine's 56%. More than half of my drives are
like that's really interesting.
More than half of your miles driven or drives
miles
beginning
driven.
to end.
Miles driven. Yeah. Like it's getting that good.
It's at the point now where it can literally start coming out of your driveway and it just like knows how to back up out of your driveway and go
into the parking spot.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Jess, I think you're the laggard on this one. You are so afraid of those left turns at intersections that you're not.
I am so afraid of the FOIA Tesla buried crash data that my team has had for 10 years.
But the new, you can just tell, Jess, like the whatever it is, 14.1 and 14.2, like they're just so good. It's really crazy. You can just feel it. It's better at driving than you are.
Not than me.
You know, Waymo's great at driving, and they're giving me 25% off weekdays around, my house, which isn't useful to me at all, but I appreciate it.
Hell will freeze over before I let an AI drive my Miata.
I think that's probably a good thing.
It's probably one of the last brands to get autonomy. So
yeah,
you're good.
Should we do a little holiday party digest here, guys? Tis the season. And there's been some suggestions, Sam, that your etiquette book is missing holiday party etiquette. So maybe we should.
You should come. If this will air after tonight's Kleiner Perkins edition, where there's a special Kleiner Perkins edition.
You made a special Kleiner Perkins edition of your etiquette
awesome.
book.
You're going to love it.
Okay.
It's the Kleiner Perkins holiday party edition, and it's fabulous. I'm very excited to give it out to the Kleiner Perkins team tonight.
You are going to get kicked out of the Kleiner Perkins holiday party, which is the stodgiest of, very much fun. Really looking forward to it.
I love the Kleiner party.
I love it. It's a highlight of my year, but it is the stodgy one.
Great sushi. I hope they have good sushi.
Great sushi. Let's grade the slow holiday party last night. Morins, what grade would you give it?
We were discussing this on our car ride home. We always enjoy the slow holiday party. What did we say, Dave?
There were Hollywood people there. I was shocked.
It's a very diverse crowd. We were impressed by the diversity of hitters, as Dave calls them, at the party.
Hitters from many geographies.
Is it multi-hitter diversity?
I was like, what brings you here? And they're like, Sam. I'm like, really?
Well, Kevin, too, apparently just told some people to show up last minute. So it all worked out.
Yeah, Kevin
I got in trouble by asking some people if they were coming you hadn't invited. Ooh. That was not good. But,
It's awkward. It's awkward to mention who was there and who wasn't there.
I will tell you this, which is one of the people who works at Slow is Clay Robbins, who works on crypto stuff with me. And Kevin was making fun of him at the party, being like, you didn't come to the last partner meeting. And Clay was like, yeah, I didn't come to the last partner meeting because the partner meeting before it, you spent 45 minutes discussing the cost of the beef. That didn't seem worth my time. And I was like, that is true that Kevin did spend 45 minutes discussing that. And I
know exactly how much the beef cost as well.
Wait,
Kevin
the beef at the party or a different?
Yeah. Well, and I know you got it 30% off. No, I know all the things about the beef.
Cheap beef?
No, it's because Jess is having an information party, and so you were able to negotiate some deals. I know all the inside innuendos.
I know nothing.
I'm nervous. My stomach is churning because I'm like, if we poured it over the budget from this party it's not an information party, Brit. It's even more exciting than that. I have decided to put the competition aside for one night, and I'm hosting a raucous Bay Area reporter and editor party from all publications. So about 50 plus people coming.
So if you want to place a story, come to my house.
How does that work? Are people catty towards each other, but they
we'll
smile, fuck you? Okay.
We'll find out.
I want to be a fly on the wall at this party.
Now, what would be great, Jess, what would make me really happy, because I assume that this is unfortunately post-tax dollars for our family, is what if we just fed them the
It's pre-tax. This is a business expense.
Fabulous. Then that's great. I love pre-tax dollars.
This is my recruiting budget. What are you talking about?
I love that. Great recruitment. Here's the thing. We can just, instead of serving the reporters new food, can we just use the leftovers from the last party?
We're using leftover flowers. We're using leftover cocktail napkins. We're using leftover bar paraphernalia. But the food will be fresh.
I learned about this from Kevin as well. Yeah. All the cost savings.
Great.
I do appreciate my wife's instinct where she was like, oh, you're having a holiday party here. Can you extend the rental by 2 days so that I can reuse exactly the same party? And I was like, I like that. That's good.
Financial engineering. Sam and Dave, should we have a GP only Bay Area holiday party? But only GPs could come.
Interesting.
But so no founders, no LPs. No like random other people and
Well,
venture
GPs are like a
funds
certain scale. I mean, you can't just call your, like, it needs to be like, the problem
Like
is then we have to
GPs
exclude ourselves.
of 10 plus. What? No, why?
Well, we put like a real, because like you do like $1 billion GP fund thing, and then
Guys,
we wouldn't
I'm a
get the $10 party.
Lesson Media.
That's the problem.
Okay, fund based on fund size. How about fund size or AUM?
How do you define a fund? Yeah.
How about, I like your idea, Britt. We take it. We invite people, but then you have to like, you get like a badge that's like based on how much money you manage.
It's just your DPI or your DPI.
DPI, I love that. You have to
A DPI badge.
It's either green or red.
We invite LPs. It's you've lost money, you're neutral, you make money. We put your returns just on a little placard and you walk around and the GPs are like, oh, look, it's a 5Xer. Hello, 5Xer. You're referred to by your returns.
This reminds me.
Good.
So I'm going to Davos this year for the first time. I've avoided it until now.
Globalist
And apparently
elite.
each badge has dots and stickers based on your levels.
Oh.
So it just reminded me of that. They're
Which
like,
is really just how much you were willing to pay to go, right?
exactly. Which someone was like, get the good lounge access. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I like this though. The more stickers, it's like Gowalla or Foursquare, where like our name tags at the GP party.
The more stickers, the more they fleeced you.
No, at the GP only party, it's just like how many funds you've done, like how much DPI you have. There's just stickers for everything.
It needs to be like one obnoxious concept. It can't be like 6. Like it's just like some brutal.
When we went to Legoland last week, we had these necklaces and the boys got different, like they're called pop badges that like snapped onto the necklace strap, and each one of them meant something different. So you'll have to earn your pop badge. And then it's just whoever has the most flair around their neck wins.
Well, I've always thought that the IRS should just give you some sort of like card which says how much you paid in taxes, right? And then you can like flash it to get into fancy clubs, you know? Like you'd be like, look, because it's like an indirect way of saying like, fuck you, I'm rich, right? So if the IRS gave you something in return for your taxes rather than just taking them, right? Like some sort of badge, we'll be into that.
Well, guys, we've done, are there any, the circuit, I'm very excited for the circuit. We got the offline party coming up too. We've got, Brit, you going to the ladies of Silicon Valley? I always try and squeeze in. I love that party. It's just hard to.
I've got so many parties. Yeah. Please, the offline holiday party is going to be legit though next week. Yeah. We've got too many RSVPs. We might have to amp up our beef budget.
I assume your party is North Bay.
Yeah,
is that right?
Of course.
We drove down to your peninsula world, Sam.
I know, but guys, we're actually going, we're going to Jackson Hole.
Already there's no snow.
I know,
Oh
but we have ski team. There's team. There's practice.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Set your priorities straight, Jess.
I know.
Can I give you a prop for a second? I was with my mother driving by your house the other day. She doesn't know we're driving by your house. She looks out at the trail by your house and she goes, that is the most beautiful trail. And I'm like, Mom, that's where that's like literally the Morin's house. And she's like, loves your trail.
Well, I'm going to invite her over for tea.
Okay. I'm going to remember my homework. If you are still with us and have not followed or subscribed to this podcast, it is unlikely. But please
Although every
do.
week I get people telling me that they stayed with us.
The more important thing, that they just say that. They don't actually
They just don't know what's coming.
They're on 3X. They're on 3X speed.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I would love comments on. Can I ask for comments? So first, you should buy my book for $9.99. It's great.
Show it again, Sam. You need to do product placement for the viewers.
This spectacular first edition costs $9.99. It's freaking awesome. It's got cartoons. It's like amazing. You're going to love it. If you find me, I'll sign it for you. If it's a first edition.
More or less QVC.
I need more etiquette tips for the second edition, which by the way, we're getting like Random House to publish. Like this is game on. I'm getting an advance.
Can you center the pictures in that edition? Because they're off centered.
I don't know. That's above my pay grade.
Please take new cover photography too.
But here's the thing. I've been getting good suggestions of etiquette tips to add. If you actually have made it this far in with us, send me or just post etiquette tips in the comments. I've had someone had a great comment about they wanted an etiquette tip on how to manage zins in board meetings. And that was great.
Wild.
What's a zin?
Tobacco or nicotine.
Oh,
nicotine
zin. Got it.
pouches.
Got it.
No one has explored zin etiquette.
Hmm.
You know, I think it's a great topic. So please send topic ideas and your favorite etiquette tips so we can build it out. We'll even give you credit in the book. Idea is going to be like, it's going to be like contributed by. If you contribute an etiquette tip, you can be in the etiquette book.
That might be a negative for people. Give them an anonymous
If you want,
option.
or anonymous.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
I have
It's a
to
community
go.
project.
We're doing well, actually, I shouldn't say what kind of doing, but I have to go do some work.
All right.
Thank you to everyone. We did a good job. We kept the AI down, and we'll see you back here next week for another episode of More or Less, probably AI edition. Farewell.
Yeah, fuck
See you
you
later.
for AI. Deal with it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this show, please leave us a virtual high five by rating it and reviewing it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Find more information about each episode in the show notes and follow us on social media by searching for @MoreOrLess, @DaveMorin, @Lesson, @JLesson, and as for me, I'm @Brit. See you guys next time.